If you've ever wondered why you're hungry all the time, or you keep going over your calories, or why your body isn't showing that muscle definition that you are working so hard for, whether you're in a fat loss phase inside of a calorie deficit or whether you are in your maintenance calories, it doesn't matter. If you're experiencing these things, this episode is going to connect some major dots for you. Let's get into it. Hey girl, what you doing? I want to tell you what I'm doing. Girl, I'm cracking up because, and I just got off of my Instagram stories and I was talking about this because I thought it's kind of funny and it was reflective and interesting. So recently I was listening to some business coaches, mentors, and they were talking about being hey girled. And I was like, what is this all about? And they were just talking about how people are hey girling. And can you believe I got hey girled? And I was like, oh my goodness, what are they talking about? Because I say hey girl all the time. And I thought, am I hey girling people? So I'm like, I gotta look that up. Well, days have gone by and I'm like, I didn't look it up. And I finally got around to looking that up. And you know what it means? It's basically when somebody comes into like your DMs and they maybe it could be like a high school friend or just anybody acting like pretending like you're good friends and they're trying to sell you something or pitch you something. They're like, "Hey girl," like acting all this way and they're not really your friend. And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really do that." But I like my term of endearment. I like saying, hey, girl, like, hey, girl. Like, I really do believe you and me, we're like, hey, girl, like, we're friends. So I've decided it's okay. I'm not hey girling people. And plus, I want to do a shout out to Heather that messaged me on Instagram when I talked about this. And she was like, no, that's not you. And same for Robin. So those of you who just got my story on Instagram and you assured me, I appreciate the love. Thank you. Cause I'm like, I am promising you, I am not hey girling. I'm not doing that. I'm not a hey girl person. Anyways, how are you doing? How are you doing? Hey girl. I hope you're having a great day. I hope that you're doing something fun, even if you are sitting there working, right, and listening to the podcast at the same time. I'm glad to be a part of your day, whether you're on a walk or you're driving to work or from work. Thank you so much once again for listening to our podcast. I appreciate you. So, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. We are right smack in the middle of all of this beautiful, beautiful time of year of giving and receiving and remembering the real reason behind Christmas for most of us, all of us. I respect you if you don't believe in Jesus or the reason for the season. Look, I got my little Jesus here. Little story about that. But anyway, I did not buy the little Jesus, but okay, I digress. Yeah, Merry Christmas. It is Christmas week, and I'm excited about that. But today, is that all I wanted to talk about? Besides, is that our little intro, what we wanted to talk about? Oh, there's one other thing. I don't know if I mentioned this on the last podcast, but podcast Rock That Fitness with Anna Rockstar is doing well. I'm really happy about that. Spotify gave me this whole review. And I mean, I'm not here to like compare our podcast to anybody else's, but I liked all that it had to say. And I think I'm going to share that on social media. However, I do want to say a very special shout out to those of you over this past year who have commented on the podcast and comment. So I appreciate you actually going that one step further and giving me some feedback on how that episode spoke to you, helped you think something differently, how it helped you in any way. Because here I am behind this microphone, um, on the camera, and I'm here by myself, right? But I'm not. I don't feel that way. I truly do feel like I'm here with you, but sometimes it can feel like kind of like a thankless thing, thankless job. I don't know. I don't consider this a job. This is my passion. I love what I do. I love helping women with their health and their fitness and their mindset. And another special shout out to Sarah, one of my clients, because she said that. She was like, I bet it's like you are behind that microphone and camera, like it's thankless because you don't really get much feedback, and I don't. So thank you, those of you who do reach out and share your comments on the podcast. So I thought, why not? It's been a while since I've done this and I got out of the habit of doing it, but I'm going to come in here and share a couple of recent comments that the podcast has gotten, because they're worth mentioning, they're worth sharing, and I really do appreciate it. So give me a second here and let me go. Right now, let's take a little swig of the water. Cheers. Yes, that's me cheersing you in the camera. By the way, if you don't know this yet, I should say this more often. You can see me on YouTube. Yes, our podcast is broadcasting on YouTube. It's also on all of the podcast platforms. So let me get here. Sorry, this is taking a minute. I should have been prepared for this. I apologize. Here we go. All right. So I'm only going to just read a couple. Okay. So recently we had one, and sometimes I don't know the name. So just the handle here is KNAZ100. And I really appreciate the comment. I don't know how to say this, Naz100 or Kanaz100. She says, wow, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing from your heart. You are an inspiration to us all. Thank you for the gift of encouragement and showing how obstacles can be overcome. I feel like I know you so much more. Well, thank you, Canals 100, because you do. Like, if anything that I ever say here on the podcast connects with you, you do know me. We're vibing. We have same energy. You know what they say. Your vibe, attracts your tribe. So thank you for that comment. Another one here, Melissa. And what podcast is this? Okay, so that first one from Kanaz, she was referring to podcast episode 186, the Thanksgiving fitness mindset, gratitude that transforms your body and mind. Thank you. This comment was from my episode 182, holiday fat loss strategies for women over 40. Enjoy the season. Melissa says, I turned this podcast on today as I was driving to work, and man, did it speak to me. Thank you for caring and inspiring women. I have thought for so long that I could do this alone, but in truth, I need the accountability. Your podcast motivate me to want to commit and try harder. So thank you. Well, no, thank you, Melissa. And you know what? Community really is so powerful. Too many women are trying to do this on their own. And while we are in our group coaching settings inside of RTF, we are doing our thing on our own. Like, we are accountable to ourselves. However, there is so much power and need for being in community. This community, this tribe, this band that we have inside of RTF. It's very powerful. It is really true that there is power in numbers. There is strength in numbers. Together, we are stronger together. You've heard that. It's a cliche, but cliches are for a reason, and it's true. So anyways, yes. And thank you, all of you who are listening, even if you're not inside of RTF membership. We are a community, and I appreciate you. Thank you for vibing with me, girl. All right. So I just wanted to recognize those of you, and also just a little shout out to all of you, my clients of Rock That Fitness, and all of you, all of my friends, all of my connections in social media. I just want to truly, from the bottom of my heart, just thank you. Thank you for being here with me this whole year. I really, really appreciate your encouragement to me, and that you're following and listening to what I have to say, because your time is the most valuable commodity that there is. And I do not take that for granted, not 1 second of your time. So thank you so much. Okay, let's get into this podcast episode. Today, I am going to be talking all about protein, but not like in a trendy way, because I know they're talking about protein. It's crazy. The protein thing has just been like blown out, right? Like protein all over social media. It didn't used to be that way. So now people are very aware. Protein. But I want to talk about it from a perspective of how it has changed my body, how it's changed my strength, my consistency, and my results. And not because I want to talk about me, but because I also want you to know that this this can impact you and help you. Just like I said in the intro, whether you're in a fat loss phase, you're in a maintenance phase, if you're feeling hungry all the time, or you're having a difficult time hitting your calories, or you're not seeing the muscle definition that you want and you're working really hard for it, you're strength training on a consistent structured plan and you're still not seeing, this could be the reason why. So we're going to talk about protein. And so I do want to say, like, for myself, I knew as a nurse, even as a nurse, of course, I've known that macros was important. But when I was going through my fat loss phase, back when I was in my beginning stages of really nailing this down, 2017, 2018, like, I didn't fully understand the optimization, the importance of optimizing protein. And I knew what protein was. I understood it was a macro, but I didn't get, and I think a lot of women that I work with, that I have worked with, or even that I talk to in my DMs and social media, do not realize just how much the body needs protein to hit our goals. And especially when we are working towards our fat loss goals, we're working towards our strength goals, building muscle mass. So once I truly grasped the magnitude of the importance of protein, I'm telling you, girl, hey girl, everything for me really has shifted. Even to this day, it has become like, it's vital for me, for my maintenance and for my maintenance of my strength and my muscle and my muscle mass and my strength. So like I say, back in 2017, I'm pretty sure I wasn't fully aware of the importance of optimizing protein, not just getting it in. I was just basically making sure I was getting it in. And also, little side note, now that I'm reflecting back on it, because I've been talking a little bit about how I was, in Weight Watchers. I don't know how it is now, but when I was in it, chicken breast was 0 points. So you better believe I was packing on the protein because it was 0 points. So inadvertently, girl, because I knew it was 0 points, and I was stacking up the veggies. But inadvertently, like, without even knowing, I was optimizing my protein at the time because, hey, zero points. Funny thing, thankfully, as active as I am, I wasn't like gaining weight, because yes, protein sources do have calories, right? But I don't really think anybody's going to be gaining weight because they're optimizing on their protein. Okay. So, and that's, a topic for another day. Just like I don't think eating a bunch of greens and salads and vegetables is going to cause you to gain excess weight. It's all the stuff that we put on top of that. So I understood the role that the protein was playing in our anatomy, in my physiology, from that standpoint, right? But if I'm being honest, I was vastly underestimating just how much I truly needed. So because of that, like I said, I wasn't sure. I didn't fully know. And here's the thing. So like I told you in my last podcast, I'm really trying to dig deep to get back to getting back in touch with the Anna back in the day. And I will tell you, these are the same challenges that my clients have when they come to Rock That Fitness, to come get coached inside of RTF with me. The same challenges that women are coming, same thing I dealt with, right? Which was, I experienced these challenges, experiencing challenges in just being hungry more often, more cravings, and struggling with consistency. Go figure. Also, the challenge of building and maintaining my muscle. I didn't realize I was strength training on a structured plan, but I didn't realize that was actually challenging me and holding me back from building more muscle at the time. I had built some muscle, yes, granted. I was a beginner. I was getting the newbie gains, but I wasn't as strong and building as much muscle as I could have if I had been optimizing. So the other thing, I wasn't necessarily always satisfied throughout the day. And yes, granted, when you're in a calorie deficit, you are going to have periods of time where you're somewhat hungry because you're in a calorie deficient, right? Like, obviously. But we don't need to be in this unsatisfied state most of the time. And there were some times that I know, had I been optimizing my protein, I would not have been experiencing that challenge. So when I, started putting, the dots together and getting the full picture, that's when I started to really increase my protein and optimize. So do you know what I'm talking about when I say optimize? I should just throw this out there as a little, by the way, good reminder that when we're going to be locking or hitting a target for our protein, we want to be aiming for somewhere in the neighborhood of 0.7 grams, 0.8 grams, up to 1 gram of protein per goal body weight in pounds. This is just a guideline to start with. So if you have a significant amount of weight to lose, I'm not saying don't calculate that number based on your current weight. We want to look for what is an ideal healthy weight for you and just use that as a guideline to set up what would be the range. So let's just say, whatever it is. If your goal is 150, so it's going to be 0.7 grams times 150, whatever that number is. I'm not doing the math right now, but up to 1 gram of protein. We want to titrate, nursey word. We want to titrate up to that 1 gram of protein per goal body weight in pounds. So I'm kind of making sure that distinction is there, because I know you're going to hear it in kilograms and all this kind of stuff, but simply either way, but calculating it in pounds, it's going to be up to 1 gram of protein per goal body weight in pounds. Now, if you do that number and you're freaking out because that's too high, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to get? Okay, I got you. I'm not saying you need to do that right away. In fact, just start where you are, find out how many grams of protein are you getting today. And then just slowly, week after week, start increasing that amount. Okay, so now we got that out of the way. And so what I'm saying is that if you're high end of getting enough protein, enough optimal, let's just say your goal weight in pounds, your goal body weight in pounds is 150, that would be 150 grams of protein. And another side note, as we're aging, we actually do need more protein because our bodies, as we age, just biologically are not processing and absorbing the protein as efficiently as it used to. Okay. So absorption is a thing as we're aging. So don't be afraid that you're going to, that you're going to be getting too much protein. If you're worried about too much protein because of your health, because of your kidneys, that's a whole different story, different topic. That's between you and your doctor. I'm not talking about somebody who has a medical condition. Okay. So let's not even go into that. But if that's the number, 150 grams of protein that you want to hit, and right now you are kind of calculating and adding up that you're around 90 grams of protein right now, optimized for you, yes, would be 150. But we got to start somewhere. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. So just add 10 grams extra a day for a week, and then the next week, and then just make that a habit and titrate up. Okay. So when you do this consistently, intentionally, you're going to find out that your hunger is going to stabilize. It's amazing. Your energy is actually going to improve. Your cravings are going to drop. This is very key. Okay. Your strength could skyrocket, believe it or not. And your muscle definition, if you are actually on a structured strength training program and you are progressively overloading week after week, bringing the intensity to your workouts, girl, those workouts aren't doing you a whole lot of good if you're trying to build muscle and strength and you're not giving yourself the bricks to build that muscle. We need to be reminded of that. Too many times I see women, they get on board, they're like, yeah, I need more protein. And they start doing their strength training. They're working on their protein. Then a little bit, they kind of start going off course. So if that's you, just want to encourage you. Let's take a look at this. Let's not ignore it. And you know what? I'm telling you right now, I still track my calories and my protein big time. I'm very consistent at this. It's a skill. It's no big deal. It takes me just a few minutes. Not a big deal at all. It's just part of my everyday habits. And Why I do that is not because I'm afraid of gaining weight. Most of the time, the majority of the reason I do this is really so I'm making sure I'm getting enough protein. That's the big one, big one. And also that I'm getting enough calories and, yes, healthy fats. But like I say, if you have gone off course, time to get back on course, girl. Let's just do that. Do that for yourself so you can start seeing the magic of protein, because it's going to make you feel better. And it's going to make everything that you're doing in your fat loss, and in your muscle building better and more doable. So that could be the part that you're missing. And it's a good reminder for all of us. So that's the part. That is really the part that I wanted to highlight today. But I also want to talk about, again, how protein is supporting and benefiting. I'm going to just list these out because we all need to be reminded that protein is going to support everything that I care about and you care about. We care about muscle building. Yes. We care about muscle maintenance, because we cannot build muscle. We cannot maintain muscle without having those building blocks. We want the brick house. So let's put the bricks. The bricks is the protein. Let's build it, girl. And then I just hey girled you again, but not really. And it helps with fat loss. It's going to help you in your fat loss phase for two main reasons. One is it's going to help you stay satisfied. That was next on my list. But as you're building muscle, guess what's happening now? Your metabolism is getting boosted. That's on my list too. But you cannot build muscle without making sure you're getting optimal protein. Okay. And then staying consistent, because we can't be like willy-nilly in this. Sometimes we're getting enough protein, sometimes we're not. What's happening there? Maybe one day you're getting your optimal protein at 150, and the next day it's like, 50 grams of protein. The next day is 50 grams of protein. The next day is a whopping 150. But when you average it out, are you getting optimal protein? See, it's on average. So we want to be consistent. And this is going to help you with your body composition. This is why, as we're aging, ladies, our hormones, yes, they're shifting, but we have so much control because of our bodies in this way. This is one controllable, right? We don't control everything, but this is something we can control. We can build muscle, and we can bring back the building blocks to build that muscle and strength. And so I'm just like you. And so when I don't hit my optimal protein, yes, I too will tend to go over my calories. I too will tend to get hungry. I will have a little loss of structure in my nutrition. I'm just saying, I'll get a little frustrated if I don't. This is why I track my protein. So I'm making sure that I'm hitting it. So we want to be intentional about it rather than, reactive about it. So, when my protein is on point, everything is stable, and it is going to help us. It's going to help us in all those areas. And yes, even help us with our hormones and help, anytime we are optimizing our nutrition, that's just going to be a byproduct of helping us in all these other ways. That's why if we are not eating whole foods, primarily whole foods, whole fresh vegetables and fruits, lean proteins, healthy fats for the majority of our diet, no wonder so many women are walking around tired, fatigued, exhausted, brain fog, and not feeling energetic, not having stamina, not even wanting to work out, because we're not optimizing. I'm not saying don't you ever eat, the fun foods, because girl, I like some fun food. But I also know that I'm going to feel way better, more optimized. I feel like crap when I don't do this for myself. If I really go off course for a whole day or 2 days, And yes, it happens sometimes. It's probably happening right now in the middle of the holiday season, right? For many of us. So, speaking of the holidays right now during Christmas, I want to encourage you to keep on with your regular habits. Stay active. You're still, you can enjoy these fun foods, but make sure you're still getting your protein so that you are still optimizing your health, right? Your overall health biologically. And, I did mention earlier about how it's going to help you stay satisfied. Why? Because protein has the highest thermic effect, which means your body is burning more calories. Okay. Of those three macros, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Protein has the highest thermic effect, which means when your body is breaking it down, it burns more energy digesting protein than the other two macros, which is going to help support your fat loss naturally. So these are the big, but the biggest benefits, right? The biggest benefits of making sure we're optimizing our protein is we're going to be feeling full. We are going to be feeling satisfied, and ding, 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 big one, we will feel more in control of our food, and we will have a better relationship with food, because when we are satiated, when we are satisfied, chemically in the brain, we are no longer having these cravings. So we're not having to fight the cravings. Another big reason, right, that we want to make sure that we are hitting our optimal amount of protein. So let's talk now real quick. I feel like because we're talking about protein, very good idea for us to highlight what are true protein sources and why, because it's still happening all over the place. People thinking that certain things are a source of protein and they're not. They just have protein. So let's just clear it up right now, right? True protein sources, high quality, that are primarily protein. Okay. Obviously, some chicken breast, turkey, lean ground beef, pork loin, fish like salmon, tuna, cod, tilapia, shrimp, eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt, especially the Greek yogurt that's high in protein. Look at your labels. There's big differences in those protein amounts. Okay. Cottage cheese, whey or high quality protein powder. Shout out Legion and a Rockstar for your code. And then, of course, there's some plant proteins too. So, but we need to still be mindful of pairing them, because not plant proteins tend to not be, they're not complete proteins. And so we want to make sure. I'm not going to get into the details of this, girl, but because I'm more like I'm eating animal sources of protein to make sure I get my protein. Nothing wrong if you're a plant protein person. I just want you to, learn what you need to learn about having a complete protein and making sure you're getting all of them, all of the different protein, all the different amino acids in your protein. But, plant proteins, tofu, edamame, lentils. Lentils, they're good, but no, it's still a mixed macro. It's not a primary macro. So, when I say a true protein source, I'm talking about that this food is where protein is the main macronutrient when you look it up on your food tracker. Okay. So now let's have a little fun and talk about foods people think are protein sources, but these foods contain protein. They're just not necessarily, they're not primary protein. Okay. So yes, they have protein, but it's not the dominant source macro in here. It's not the dominant macro in here. So these are basically carb-based foods like beans, because there's more carbs than there is protein. Yes, there's protein. Quinoa, mostly carbs. Peanut butter. People think peanut butter is a protein source. That's like a big one. Let's just clear that up right now. We all love us some peanut butter, girl. But it's mostly fat. It's not a primary protein source. Same thing with PB Fit. Okay. Yes, you're getting some protein. It's not considered a primary protein source. Hummus has more fat and carbs. Nuts, again, just like peanuts, but they're mostly fat. Oats have some protein in there. Some breads have some pastas have some. Like I love having my, what is it? Oh my gosh. Chickpea pasta. Yes, there's protein in there. Great source of protein, but it's not a primary protein source, but it sure does add right to my protein of the day. And some rice and brown rices have some protein in there too, and some dairy items. But watch your dairy items, because a lot of those are more fat and carbs than they are, necessarily a high protein. Okay. And then, of course, when it comes to protein powder, protein bars. A little trick I want you to think about when you are going to buy these things, when you're going to eat one of these things. A little trick to know, is this a good source of protein? It's like good source of protein, but is it a primary source of protein? Is when the calorie to protein ratio. This is a really cool little trick. If the calorie to protein ratio is 10-1 or better, then yes, that's going to be a great source for protein. So for every 100 calories, it has at least 10 grams of protein. Okay. So like I know like protein powders that I use typically will have around 100 calories, but it's giving me well over, 20, 25 grams of protein. Great source of protein for that. Okay. If it's a bar that you're eating, you want to eat a protein bar, pay attention. A lot of these protein bars claim to be protein bars, and they're not necessarily a good source of protein. They're not. They're more like a snack bar. So if a bar is 200 calories, then it needs to have at least 20 grams of protein for it to be a protein source, a protein bar. If it's a 300 calorie bar, take a look. It needs to have at least 30 grams of protein. I hope that little trick helps you. So if your bar says 250 calories on it and it has 8 grams of protein, that's not a protein bar. It's probably more like a granola bar, a snack bar. Not bad. Just be aware that you need to boost your protein if, that's not your protein source for the day. So just because a food has protein doesn't mean it's a protein source. Dun, dun, dun. And that, hey girl, pretty much is going to conclude this podcast episode. So, we went over, the main reason why it's so important, the benefits of protein, and not just getting protein, but optimizing your protein and how it's going to help you with all of these things, right? Staying satisfied, building muscle, helping you stay in your calories, whether you're in a fat loss phase, whether you're in maintenance, all of these things. Man, protein is king. It's great. Something else to be aware of, one last thing I want to throw in there before I forget, is if you are, let's just say you're in a calorie deficit and you're working to hit your protein. If you are wanting to stay within, I just want to say, stay within your calorie deficit. If one day you didn't hit your protein, but you are in a fat loss phase, the more important thing, if you have not hit your protein for the day, but you've hit your calories for the day, don't think, well, I need to have protein because I haven't got enough protein in today. But what am I going to do? I've already hit my calories. You're good. Like, let's just work on getting protein the next day. If you're in a calorie deficit because you're in a fat loss phase, then calories. If you hit your calories, don't go eating more protein just so you can hit your protein. Let's work on making sure we're hitting our protein, right? Because when you hit your protein source each day, optimizing on your protein, it's going to be so much easier for you. It'll be so much easier for you to stay within your calories, whether you're in a fat loss phase or maintenance. So, I'm wondering, how'd this go for you? Was this just all a big reminder, or was there some kind of takeaway? Maybe leave a comment and share your takeaway. That would be awesome. Let me know. Yeah. So this might be, again, think about it. This could be why you have been feeling hungry, why you might not be seeing definition, working really hard in the gym. You're getting your training in, you're working out. Protein. Okay. And also, by the way, you're not alone. You are not alone. So most women are challenged in this. It takes practice. It takes repetition. Just like say, it's just going to be a habit. So please don't be hard on yourself. Just figure out, where are you right now? Where are you at with this? And what are some steps you can take to start, improving on your protein intake? It's going to help you in your fat loss goals and your journey, okay, and your fitness journey altogether, all around. Okay, we want to stay strong and healthy and fit. And this one thing in your nutrition, applying this one simple principle, it's doable. It's a non-intimidating way to really start seeing some results. Okay. So I want to leave you with this one last thing. If you have been thinking about it, you get on the fence, or you want to make sure you're in the loop for the next time that I open up the doors for Rock That Fitness, I just want to invite you to get on the priority list. The link is going to be in the show notes. Get on that priority list and you'll be first to know when I open the doors to enrollment in the new year. And I'm so excited for all the new Rockstar ladies that are going to come in here ready to rock your fitness, ready to rock your fat loss like never before, so that you never will need another diet program again. And you will learn for yourself to trust yourself, trust the process, let go of deadlines, and truly enjoy the process along the way. And of course, with all the support of other rock stars, other rock star women that are, in the trenches with us, but we're enjoying it. Because if you're not having fun, girl, what are you doing? If it's not fun, you're not going to stick with it. It's not going to be sustainable. We're making it fun. We have challenges in Rock That Fitness. We are engaging. We have coaching calls every week. It's a beautiful place. I love you, rock stars, if you're listening. So get on the priority list. Then one other thing, if this episode helped you, prompted you, and you're like, man, I need to know more about protein. I'm going to put in the show notes the link to my comprehensive protein guide. I created this free guide, totally free. Grab it. It's comprehensive. I know it's going to really, really help you. So go get that. Go get on the priority list. Grab that comprehensive protein guide that I created for you for free. And let's go rock our protein, girl. All right. Have a great day. Thank you for your time, girl. I love you. I love you so much. Don't forget self-care, self-love all day, every day, in every way. Do I have your word? Good. Let's rock.